what's up, everybody? What's
Howdy,
up,
y'all.
How's it going?
everybody? Happy Sunday, happy Sunday. You can
We
see
made
we're all going nuts here. Happy Sunday!
Oh, Jesus.
Woohoo!
You brought it in.
Woohoo!
Good night, everybody.
Hey, what's up, man? We got a couple of viewers in here. Oh, welcome to the live stream. We decided to, keep us flowing here. Brooklyn Aquarium Society gang here. You got D from New York Gold. You got Adam from Adam. What's the name of your channel, for the love of Christ?
I know, right? Fish Connection.
Fish Connection. Check him out on YouTube. We're going to start managing some more content. He's got a big build coming up. I got to see who's in the room. Of course, we're always multitasking. But for the meantime, we're going to be talking about auctions. For everybody that isn't familiar with the Brooklyn Aquarium Society and other fish auctions, there's a lot of things that go into play with bringing your fish for an auction, selling your fish, buying fish, making sure you get the most money. And of course, the auctioneers. We have a few of the best auctioneers that I'm personally saying out of all the clubs. Don, you're going to be auctioning maybe one of these days, Don?
I'd like to think so.
But I got Dan and Billy, our two big auctioneers. Dan, shout out to Dan and Billy. Hopefully they're on here. They're very, very intricate. I want to say there's intricate. There's a lot of moving parts that you guys don't see when you come to fish auctions, like bagging the fish, making sure that they're labeled, what's in the bag, making sure that you bag them the right way so they're not leaking, and then how the auction takes place, bidding on fish, and a few other things like that. So Greater City, I go to those meetings. I go to, of course, Brooklyn Aquarium Society meetings. I go to the Norwalk. Shout out to the Norwalk Aquarium Society, South Jersey. All of the aquarium societies that have auctions, I'm sure there's a few differences, but all of them would like you to kind of know how to bring the fish to the auction. So that's one of the things we're going to talk about today. And D-Man, did you have some points that you wanted to hit right off the back?
Well, I think we should at least break it into to two halves. And one being like the buyer, person wanting, trying to bid for something, and then the bidder, the person that like brings the stuff in to be sold. You know what I mean? That's like really the two halves of the auction. So I don't know which one you want to go first with, the biddie, the bidder, the biddie, the buyer, the seller.
I think the seller, because
Okay.
That's one of the things we didn't mention is if you're selling the fish, like I know you're more of the breeder, so you have more of the experience with how you prepare to bring your stuff for the auction. So I think we should probably start with, I have fish and I want to go to an auction and I want to bring my fish to the auction. Like, what do I do?
All right. Well, we all know, like, first you have to be a member of the Brooklyn Aquarium Society, especially in order to get you a 50-50 split when you bring the fish in. And I don't think we'll let you bring fish in if you're not a member, right? You have to be a member of the club.
We actually discussed that at the board, and we have been giving people that courtesy. They have been bringing things before joining, but of course we want you to join for various.
Like if you aren't a member, you can start, what is it, $5 a night? So if you come to one of the meetings with some fish, $5 and see if you like it, see if it works out for you. If it doesn't, have a nice day. If it does, then we'll join and keep going. So I guess it would start. What I like to do is, like, I got to think of the whole month. If April's a couple of weeks away and we got to bring stuff, I'd like to bring the fish that I'm going to bring. I like to put them in a tank that I can catch them out of. That's it. I don't want to come home from work and then be chasing these damn things around and moving rocks and pulling plants and everything. Just
Right.
try to get 6 fish together. It's a huge pain in the butt, especially when you're on a time limit. I only got a couple of hours before I got to get out of here, and so that's important. I mean, it's important. I know a whole nother topic is enrichment itself. So I don't want to keep things in just like a bare tank and this isn't prison. This is, but yeah. So
people
you
never
wanna-
mention that. I'm glad you mentioned that because people never mention. I was one of those people trying to catch the damn fish like an hour before the meeting and trying to get them in the bag.
And some fish they don't like to cooperate. Other fish, like guppies, they swim right in your net. You're like, oh yeah, I got sick. Let's get out of here. And the other ones are just it chases on. Especially if there's a lot of plants and stuff in there. You got to end up draining water. It's a process. And sometimes, and I know I just don't have the time for that. But so you caught the fish. I like to put them in definitely the clearest water I can get, even if I have to mix with a little tap water or whatever. I want that bag to look. When they look in that, if there's stuff floating around in there, and that's just, people don't like that. I don't like that. Everybody assumes it's bad. That when there's particles and crap floating around in the bag, they think it's poop or whatever. And nobody wants to buy a bag of poop. I'm not going to lie. So you want to have that water as clear as you can get it. It wouldn't tell you to throw a little plant in there with the fish or something like that. That kind of helps too. People like that. But you want it clear. And of course, I made the mistake, and everyone does, is try to tape the corners if you can. You use a clear packing tape. You only need like a piece about an inch and a half long, just to get the corners from pointing. Just flatten them off. Because I had an angelfish get his head stuck in there, and I had him in the bag on the way there, and collapses his gills, and he can't breathe. And now you got one less fish. So, the only thing worse than a bag of poop is a bag with dead fish floating around in it. You know what I mean? Even if it's just one dead fish, everybody's going to assume, why is that fish dead? Well, the other one's going to die because of what he has. It's like, no, he got his head caught in the...
We got our auctioneer in the house. Hey, shout out to Bill. Shout out to a few guys here. Bill knows better than anybody. When he's at the auction count, he picks up a fish, and it says 6 fish in the bag, and 2 are dead.
These 2 are half price.
Half price.
That's full price. So I think taping the corners. I don't think it's necessary to double bag. You can if you want. It's actually harder to see the fish through the 2 bags, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like you're shipping these things across the country. You're just taking them to the aquarium for a couple of hours, and then they're going to someone else's house. So, and we have extra bags there in case of emergencies and stuff like that. That's actually something that I carry with me. In the bottom of my bag, I have spare bags in case I have a blowout or something like that in the car, and I just put the whole thing in another bag, and at least it keeps them, alive until I get home. So it doesn't happen often, I'm not going to lie, but every once in a while you get a leaker. It's never an explosion of water all over the place. It's usually, something's leaking. Yeah, so you just put it in a bag and make it happen.
That's one thing I noticed at the other clubs. I think, most of you can't rely on when you bring it to another club that they have bags. I always like to have some extra bags in my pocket just in case. I mean, sometimes you just pick it up and just transporting it to get a little leak or something.
You hit it on the edge of a table or something, anything.
Anything. Especially big fish. Like our club, I don't know if anybody from the Cichlid New York club is there. I went to their meeting. You have so many people bringing stuff in buckets. But those fish, bigger fish like cichlids, they have those spines. 9 out of 10 is going to poke the bag. That's
another thing. We have some people that sometimes bring fish in a container like this, and not that it happens a lot, but it seems there's issues. We have more issues with fish and things like this than we do in bags. And I think the issue is you can trap more air in a bag because you want 1/3 water, 2/3 air when you pack. That maximizes the time that fish can stay in the bag.
And Bill made a good
point. More air than water.
He made a good point too, as you just mentioned that. I posted up here. No one should bring fish that are almost as big as the bag they're in.
Oh yeah.
We had goldfish that were like this big, and the bag was.
I think like dent in there. You got to rub butter on them and squeeze them in. Yeah. So.
That's a good.
I don't know if that's bags. Look, there's a reason why everybody in the world uses bags. I think they're just better. And I don't think there's a need for a breather bag. It's it's only a couple of hours in that bag. You make it a long time, make it 4 hours, 6 hours.
I can never tell the difference in a breather bag anyway, because I know even if you bring them in a breather bag, I mean, people, if somebody's bidding on the fish, they don't know it's in a breather bag, so they tend to put the bag in the water anyway.
Yeah, typically you can't really see through them well anyway. They have like an opaqueness to them, and it's supposed to be filled all the way to the top. There's not supposed to be any air in it.
I didn't know
But,
that. In a
yeah,
breather bag, I didn't know
yeah.
that.
The breather
Yeah.
bags must be full.
Yeah, it's just
So,
full of
but I
water.
don't see many of those come to the auction anyway, so I don't think that's even an issue.
So
That's
if
more-
Rick made a
So when
Rick
you
made a
bring,
point. He
yeah.
said he says you can pressurize a bag, but you can't pressurize a bucket. It's a good point too, right?
If I sit on it, I can pressurize it.
I bet you
You
can.
might not like the pressure. You might
4
not like
million
the pressure.
psi coming out of that end.
So now you got the fish in the bag. You
Oh,
come
you got
in
the
the
fish in the
door.
bag. No, we want to label this bag. Do it right there at your house. Don't wait until you get to the thing. If you have a stick-on label where you want to write, basically, you don't have to. I don't put scientific names or Latin names or whatever. I just write, cherry bobs, and I like to write how many are in there. And I'll put. I like to sell 6-packs because that's it's a good number for other people to breed. So, and if I can, I'll try to do like 3 males, 3 females. And if I do 3 males, 3 females, I'll try to note that on there too. But I just write right in the bag, 6-pack cherry bobs, 3 males, 3 females, and that's it. I'm done. And it goes. Then I put them in my an insulated bag I have to bring them in, and then I
Yeah,
I bring
because
them
who's
over
going to count like 15 guppies, and it may be a good amount in there, but nobody writes it on the bag. It just says
right.
bag of guppies. It doesn't sound the same as 6
It's hard.
pairs of
Yeah,
guppies or-
it's hard to count fish, and it's very clear when people are looking at the bag, and the first thing that they read is 6-pack cherry bobs. They
Yeah.
know they're getting 6, and they're cherry bobs. You know what I mean? Sometimes they just see the name cherry bob, and they won't go further than that because people just want to know what kind of fish it is. So I like to write the number of fish first, then the fish, and so it keeps people from stopping after the name.
Yeah.
Right.
Whether it works or not, I have no idea. And then, so you take them in, and we take them to Ginny at the table, and they get tagged with the lot number on them.
And shout out to our awesome editor / intake person.
Yes, the
Virginia.
hardest working woman in our club.
I mean, she's bringing in. We have an average of about 200 bags,
Yeah.
and I gotta tell you guys, when you come to the meetings, don't come in like 8:30, like in the middle of the talk, and then say I have the bags. We got to stop everything because it takes time for us to take the bags in, get them listed, make sure that everything's right. So get there at 7:30 or 7 o'clock. We're there, and this way, if it's a problem, we got markers to write the bags and everything. But help Virginia out, man. She does a great job.
So I think that covers everything of like bringing fish in, right? And then the fish go up to Billy, and Billy auctions them off, or Dan, and then whatever they go off at, and $10. And at the end of the day, just say you have $60 worth of fish go off. The next meeting, you'll get a check for half of that. For $30, you'll get a check for whatever half of the thing is.
Yeah, now, of course, I didn't mention that, or maybe we did, the 50-50. So, in bringing fish to the auction, right, Brooklyn Aquarium Society members get 50% of what the fish sells for. If the fish sells for $20, you get $10. Fish sells for $10, you get $5, X, Y, and Z. If you bring 20 bags, you only get the 10 highest selling bags. So if you bring 20 bags, you get the ones that went for the highest. We give you the money for those. We ain't going to give you, if the fish goes for $2, you're not going to get $1. We give you bass bucks. Anything under $5, you get bass bucks, which are credit. You get paper, Brooklyn Aquarium Society currency that you can use at the auctions. But one thing that drives me nuts is when people have like 20 fish and they wrap 20 individual fish. I mean, to each his own, you can do that, but you're typically going to get less money when you do that. And maybe I'm wrong, but in seeing the auctions, when you see 20 of the same fish, you tend to get less money than if you see a bag of 3 or a bag of 2. you'll get more money because the people say, oh, there's 15 more of the same fish on the counter.
Yeah, you're right. You're just waiting for the next
You're
one.
getting more
The
money.
first one goes for $6. They're going to try to get the next one for $5, and that one goes for $5. They're going to try and get the next one for $4, and it'll just
Exactly.
and in the end, you probably would have got more if you put, a couple of 3-packs together or a couple of 6-packs together of those bags and sold them in small groups. You probably would have got, $18, $20 for the group rather than, a couple of bucks for each one. So, I don't know.
I don't know if people think it's a strategy or, if I bring more bags, I'll get more money.
It's also an auction, and it's always unpredictable, and there's always fish that make you shake your head and say, "Man, that thing went for a song," and then 10 minutes later, you're like, "Man, how did that go for so expensive?" You got some guppy that you see in every store, and the guys are fighting over. It's all about the dogs in the fight. These two guys really want it, and they fight for it. And then some
100%.
gorgeous pleco comes in, a snowball pleco, and the guy's like, $4. Nobody else is bidding, and you're like, man, that thing's like $25 in the store. It went for so you just never know. And
they devalue them when you bring a bunch of bags of the same thing. What do they say? Supply and demand. Supply and demand. When you see there's only 2 bags of those Cobra guppies, it's like, oh man, there's not another bag gonna come. I got to bid on this. That's it.
That's why you try to.
Oh, we got another bag. Oh, we got another bag. Oh, we got.
Yeah, and unless I'm really just trying to get rid of stuff, like sometimes I'll have 100 fish that I want to bring to the auction. I'll bring no more than maybe 2-3 bags tops. Usually it's 2 6-packs or whatever, or 12 packs if I'm really trying to get rid of them, and more than that. If you just, like I said, if you bring too many, people they'll just wait for the next ones, and then, or even if the guys that there's usually only so many people that want them too. So if
exactly.
First 2 go to people that want them, the other 2 that they go for nothing. So
Exactly.
You're better off just waiting for the next month. Do 2 and then hold those 2 bags back. Just don't bring them in. That's why I only bring in like 2 or 3 bags. Unless I really just want to get rid of the fish. That's just donation.
But our giant auction is coming in May. So look out for the notices of the giant auction. There's no speaker that month. It's just auction. From you come in.
Great auction. Yeah. So get your feet ready now.
I'm looking to see what I can get out of the reef tank here, because shout out to Patrick and a few of the other guys, that Justin and John and those guys, that we're going big on the coral, man. I got to get our saltwater people coming out. We had a lot of coral last week.
Always blowing sunshine up the salty guys' butts.
The salty guys are the main guys that are always looking for coral, because a lot of the stores in the winter, let's face it, in the winter, you can't ship coral like you do in the summer. We got local guys cutting. I know I'm cutting here. When they stop burying them, these guys are looking like he wants to be on TV. But anyway, when we start cutting, this is the time to come to the meetings before summertime. Hey, we got gas prices going up, fuel prices going up, shipping's going up. Come summertime, the price for those coral in the store are definitely going to go up. So come to the meetings now. If you want to try to bring things, if you're looking for stuff, we got quite a few fraggers coming to meetings. Just please mark what the coral are when you put them in a bag, because I know I'm up there. I'm looking at coral sometimes in the bag. The polyps are closed. You can't tell what it is. And then I'm like, okay, maybe this is a zoa, maybe it's a pally. Come to mark your bags. Like I put a notice up there. Not Rick says, print big labels, stick them on the bag, put some tape on the bag so the labels don't come off. Even get a marker right on the bag.
I think coral is the hardest thing to identify in the little cup. I don't think anybody in the club even knows, especially when it's closed up. I mean, I bet you 60% of the corals that we go through the auction are mislabeled, unless they're labeled on the freaking thing.
Unless they're labeled.
So unless they're labeled, I don't think they're going off as what they are. So it's a shame. If everybody's got to label their stuff, it just makes life so much easier and makes the auction go so much smoother.
Big time.
And shrimp too. I mean, we can't assume that everything's Neocaridina or everything's a tiger. Label what the fish are. Even some of the goldfish. I know you're better at identifying the goldfish, D. Like some of those goldfish are fancy, some of them are not. Some are koi, some are comets.
Yeah, it's true. Only one guy in the club really cares, so maybe 2. So that's like, it is.
Now we had a guy the month before last. I think January that he used to have a store. So he was like, "Oh no, that's not a comet. That's a tire or whatever."
Mhm.
But the person just labeled the bag goldfish. So he actually got more money than he would have because
Sure.
this guy just knew what it
Mm.
was. He knew what
That's
it
what I
was.
do.
He was like, "Oh, I'll buy him."
I mislabel other people's bags so I can get things cheap.
Oh, now we know. Reported. Reported.
This isn't a zebra pleco. This is a guppy, mutt guppy.
A mud puppy.
Exactly.
Oh,
What's going on,
plecos.
Mexicali?
Yo, Adam, how much is that? That
Mexicali's in the
pleco
house.
went for like almost $100 last meeting. I think.
105, yeah.
105,
$107.
which is
Yeah.
great. They were going for 120 at Monster.
No, 158.
Either way, they
When
got
I was there, they were 120. Remember the day? So I walk into Monster. Listen to this, and when you go in and you go onto the left, there's like the aisle in the back on the left, and on the bottom, about 3/4 of the way through, is a 20-gallon tank with zebra plecos in it. So I look at the top of the tank, and there's a zebra pleco on the top of the lid. It's like a clear lid, and the thing's sitting there, and I'm like, that's weird. He's like outside the tank. I don't even know how he got there. It says this thing like dead, like crusty. So
Whoa.
I picked it up. It starts wiggling. This thing's still alive. So I was like, so I grabbed the lid and I threw him back in the tank, and he went right, and he was stuck to the glass. And I was like,
Wow.
how the
I would have
hell?
bought that one half off. I just said this fish is
Yeah,
dying.
that's all I need. There's cameras all over the place. If they go look at the camera, they'll see me
but I
saving
would've
that thing.
said,
They owe me $120.
I would say this fish is dying. I give you 50.
Yeah. I won't get nothing for saving their fish, but they would have me plastered all over the internet. New York Gold steals fish.
Have you seen this guy? Oh,
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'd be plastered all over the place. I don't want to be the guy. I don't want their fish anyway.
I don't want to sidetrack it too much, but just to mention something, because usually my wife doesn't like get into my fish tub. I'm watching YouTube, but we were watching a video yesterday about a store somewhere. The guy had caught somebody on the camera stealing a coral right out of the tank, and she was like,
Oh,
"You can
snap.
steal coral?" And I'm telling her, some of these things are worth $1,000, $3,000.
Next
So
time I got to go in with a water bottle.
But I mean, this is why that's why you have to label your stuff, because you
Yeah.
may see it as one thing, a Superman, Monteporo, whatever the case, and maybe it's a regular Zoa, but you got to label your stuff. And I know Bill had mentioned that he was saying in a future vid we should talk about the discus clubs and the role and things that people have in the hobby. The auctions aren't just about selling and buying fish. We have breeders. We used to get stuff from a wholesaler. We have breeders that are breeding native species. They're breeding Gadeas. They're breeding Limia. They're breeding things that we need to perpetuate the hobby. And this is why 50/50 started. It wasn't just so people could make money. I mean, of course, it's good to make money, but some places, like we went to the NEC, people were excited because we had rice fish. They were like, "Oh my God, rice fish!" they were going. No, they were paying big bucks.
It's something, and that's that. We'll get into that on page 3, but I have more to add to exactly what you're saying as far as getting fish that you can't get at the store, or very hard to get at the store, or almost impossible to get at the store. And another thing is, you got to remember too, like when we go to the NEC, it's 31 clubs.
Yeah.
From basically Jersey all the way to Maine and everywhere in between, all these clubs in all these different states. But not every state has the same rules.
That's right.
So Dee and I were at the NEC in Connecticut, and we're just not paying attention and chit-chatting with each other like we usually do. And I hear a bag going off, and they're like $70. And I was like, wait a second. Did you say $70? He goes, well, I was like, those are white clouds. I'm like, they're like $1 a piece. I was like,
he's not joking.
We're looking at each other like, white clouds? And like 10, 15 minutes later, another bag of white clouds went for like $60. I'm like, well, hold the phone. I said, as soon as I get back, we're breeding white cloud, and we're coming back in next year. We're going to pay for the hotel. We're paying for everything with white cloud. It was like $130 of white clouds in 20 minutes. I'm like, how does it? So I'm like, something's got to be wrong here. So I find out, I think it's like Rhode Island and Maine is a couple of states up there, maybe New Hampshire. White clouds are illegal.
Yeah.
So you know how it is. If you can't get something, everybody wants it. So an entire state of people can't get white clouds, but here they are in Connecticut where it's legal, and they're just going to drive back in a couple hours to home and Sure enough,
I think we did it.
I can't prove these are people from Rhode Island. I don't know where they're from, but why else would these people be paying, $70 for $18 worth of fish,
But
Makes-
it's
yeah,
a
makes
trend
sense.
too. It was a trend too because fish do go through trends, like those fighting. I can't think of the name. Those colorful cichlids that all of a sudden everybody wanted them with the hump in the head and like they were big.
Flower
Flower one?
The flower horns were like big and everybody were paying 180, 200. Like, let me tell you, I'm pretty sure me and Don dedicated a whole year to breeding more white clouds.
True story. I had like 300 of them down there. Like,
I had them in the house, outside, in a bucket. I was breeding them everywhere.
and then COVID hit and they didn't have the auction. I had all these white clouds coming out of my ears. But
Look, if you would have looked in that hotel room, it looked like we were selling crack and then we were bagging white clouds.
it looked like a meth lab,
Give me
a white cloud meth lab.
Oh
We
my
had bubbles
gosh.
going, buckets, all kinds of stuff.
And then they're like, okay, $1, Bob. I said, what happened to $50?
Yeah, it didn't pan out like it did in the past. Things
It
times
happens.
changed.
Yeah.
Times
but,
changed. It wasn't the hot fish anymore. But man,
but what
I'm not
back
missing
onto
the
the
boat.
top, back onto the topic. Well, we went way off
Right.
the deep end.
Well, we talked about from 0 to 100 and raising the fish, bagging them, bringing them in and stuff like that. So let's go to
Oh, that Patrick out there. Shout out. I think that's Patrick, Aquatic Symphony. Patrick bought all those beautiful coral. I'm going to show you later. I'm going to post some pictures on the website. My fish didn't knock them over. But sorry, go ahead, Don. I got distracted.
you want to talk about what you should do to be like the buyer or talk about bidding.
Okay.
Let's go buyer first and then bidding
Buyer
last.
first. Okay.
Right? So just because we did selling, then we'll do buying, and then we'll do bidding. We should have talked about this in the last hour. We were goofing off. We were
Okay.
playing puppets instead. So you go to the auction, and you just you walk in, introduce yourself, you talk to people, and all the fish are lined up in buckets against the wall. And now you're doing your homework here. You're going to go see what they have, and maybe you go to the libraries first because you're looking for a certain one, or you just don't care. You're just going through and you're seeing what you have. Before I even get to that point, when I go to it, when I'm in the mood to get fish,
Uh-huh.
I have to make space. I think it's something that everybody forgets to do, or they don't think about it. They get there and they're like, "Oh, it's only $10 for that." So and then you get home, it's like, "Where the hell am I going to put these things? Run the bath. We got to put these in there until tomorrow." And space is something that I'm sure I'm not the only one. Just
I do
forget
that all
about.
the time.
I'm like trying to squeeze, and it's freaking 1:00 in the morning, and I'm moving fish and shuffling things around. I'm like, you guys are
Yeah,
gonna
You're
figure
not
this
the
out.
only one.
Yeah,
You're not the
you
only
guppies are gonna live with that Oscar for one night. You're gonna figure it out. I'll be
Yeah.
back in the morning. So that finding space for them, and so now you go in, and then you look for you're looking at all the fish and stuff like that. But even before then, and most people are very good at this. You know your prices, know what a fish is worth. So I mean, yeah, everyone's there for a good deal and stuff like that, but nobody's there to get robbed.
Yeah.
And if you do, that's on you. Nobody's got a gun to your head telling you to bid. So if you pay $20 for a $10 fish, then that's on you. So you got to know your prices, but also too, and this comes back to what you were saying about hard to get fish. So there's a tiger limia up on the thing, and these are fish that I don't know. I never seen them in a store. Not that they can't be, but it's rare to see them in a store.
They're a species. They're a native species that's hard to find.
Right. So all right. So now you always wanted to keep these. You like live birds because they're easy to breed. You can get the CARES points. You can get Breeders' Award points and stuff like that. So it works for you. This is a fish you want, and you have a 10-gallon cycle ready to go at home. So you want to get these fish. But you got to figure. All right. So you go to the internet and you're looking on your phone. You're like, oh, these things are, say, I can get these things for $6 a pair or $10 a pair, say. But
Mhm.
then you go another one. Certain people they're expensive, certain people are cheaper and stuff like that. And you figure the average is $10 to $12 a pair. But if you were to get that pair, you'd have to get it shipped, right? So let's call it $10. We'll go to the cheapest one you found. But now, if that came from Wisconsin, how much would it cost to get that fish into your hand and into your tank?
And you don't know how it's going to travel either.
Another $20, $30 to get it shipped to your house. So you're talking like around a $30 or $40 bill just for that pair. One pair to get to your house. So when you're figuring in, oh yeah, I saw those online, they're only $10. No, it's $10 if you can get your hands on it, and you can't. But if it was guppies and they're $3 a piece, well, I can go to Bond Store, I can go all over the place and get these guppies all day long, and it's not a problem. I just for the price of getting on the bus. But you got those hard to get fish. You got to build in the price of that shipping, and you're like, man, because what's going to happen? The fish is going to go for $18. You're like, I didn't want to spend $20 on that fish, and then you're going to think about it. You know what? All right, I'm going to get those fish now, and guess what it's going to cost you? It's going to cost you $40 to get these stupid fish that you could have had for half 3 weeks ago.
I'll tell you, I put the picture up there because Symphony is here. He's here, and we were talking about the value. The coral, people say yay and nay. We get a lot of oohs and we get a lot of ahs. Some people know the value. Some people don't know the value. But even I have like Monty's here. We have some branching coral here that you could go to the store and some of these coral are $80, $70. We had a colony go. I think Justin bought a huge colony that was about 10 inches across for like $50. That would be almost $1,000 in the store. And shout out to all of our supporters and things that donate coral and bring them to get 50-50. You never know what you're going to make. You can't promise that you're going to get the store value. That's one thing I always say. Don't expect like, oh, that would cost X amount in the store. I only got this at the auction. I mean, most of the people are either starting out or they know the value and they're trying to get the best price that they could get.
More often than not, the fish or the coral, whatever, the plant goes for less than when it goes in the store.
Yeah. In some cases it doesn't. Some cases
more often than not.
Sure, of course.
75% of the time, you're getting a fair deal or better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And every once in a while, you get a couple, 3 people fighting over the same thing, and they blast the prices through the roof. But it's still, and even then, it's pretty rare, especially when like big stuff, like when you get bags of cories and stuff like that. You're talking these cories are like $20 a piece. There's $100 worth of cories there. It goes for $75. Everyone's like, oh my God, $75. There's no way you're getting that for $75 in the store. It's $100+ all day long for those 6 cories in the bag. It's just exactly, auction wise, it's a high price. So
yeah, of course.
There's like I said, more often than not, it's a good deal.
And
I'm not saying it's cheap, but it's a good deal.
And Bill, once again, our auctioneer, he makes a point here saying that we are grateful to all the sponsors and members that bring stuff, because a great shout out to the board of directors, which we're all on. We do a lot of work behind the scenes to make sure that even in auction sometimes the bag's not marked. Sometimes we like I know Dan will say, oh, it says Corey, but this is a X kind of Corey, or this is a
right.
X
Yeah, Dan's information is invaluable to have a guy that knows what the hell he's looking at. And even Dan, when it comes to like the bedders and stuff like that, Billy's like, oh yeah, this is this kind of bed. It's like it's nice to have that information right there. Boom. So it straightens things out very quickly.
And when we have stuff from like Absolutely Fish, shout out to all our sponsors. I won't name them all now. We'll be here forever, but Absolutely Fish, Monster, All-in-One Pets, all of these guys, Pacific, all of these places, when they're donating to us, it behooves you to go check out their stores. This is why they support us, is they have this and other things. So yes, because they support us, go to the stores, call them up, go to their pages and see what else they got. Because all of these guys stay in business, they're showing you what they have. They have more at the stores. But yeah, in bringing stuff, expect what you see at the clubs to be irregular. We get a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, that's a good point, to support your local stores that are supporting the club. Because if there's something you see that you like at the auction, most likely they have a ton of it left at the store. So if you want to make a bigger colony, or you missed out on the auction.
Yeah, especially a lot of the stores, they'll give us a 10% discount. And it's, it just wipes out the tax fee, which is nice. But the important thing is every time you whip out that card, they know it's someone from the club.
Yeah.
I do it. I don't really give a crap about 10% discount. I want them to know, hey, I'm from Brooklyn Aquarium Society. I'm here because you sponsored me. Now I'm helping you, and I'm going to buy these fish. And
I keep my card all the time. Walk with your card.
Yeah,
go to the
let
store.
know.
Say, hey, did you offer anything for Brooklyn Aquarium? Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't know who we are. You may go to a store we never heard of. But then those guys are, oh, we got a club out there that does this. They may come to the club and support you, give you a little discount, or, you know, we want to help those guys stay in business too. Mom and pops need business.
Yeah, until they, you know, close down, then everyone's like, oh, I can't believe they closed down. It was so convenient. It was right there. You said, yeah, but you didn't. You bought everything on Amazon, for Christ's sake. You didn't give the guy a dime. That's why he's folding. He's out of here. So all right, you went to the table, you did your homework, you looked at prices and stuff like that, and then the next step is figure out, you know, what fish you want to buy, what you want to bid on, and then you need this or a phone. There's a pad and a pen or a pencil, and a lot of people, they write down. First thing they do is they write down the bag number. So it's bag number 51. You write number 51. And these are a trio of limias here, and you put it down. And then your next bag, you write down the bags you want. And what I do is then I write down, I did my homework. All right, these are in here, it's $30. What I think is a fair price for those fish. Maybe the condition of the fish may have something to do. Maybe they're really healthy, or maybe they're like, I'm like, you know, you look okay, and this one's bug-eyed, and, you know, you're trying to get rid of them. So I write that. Just say it's $20 is the maximum willing to go on that fish. So when Billy auctions, he says bag number 51, limias, they start going off, stuff like that, and I'll bid until I hit that number. And I am ruthless with myself. If it's 20 and it goes for 25 cents, I'm out. Because my max is 20. I'm not doing it. My max is 20, and that's just more all I want to go. Or I think they're 18 or whatever. And but some people are like, well, they're not going to 5 cents. There's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with going 22 and you're going a little higher. That's on you. I'm just telling you how I do it. But I definitely write a number because everything's fast moving. You might have 6, 8, maybe 10 fish down here that you want to bid on and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, you know, how much was this? If I write it down right there, and I say, all right, it's this fish, this bag number, and this is what I'm willing to pay for it. I don't have to. Good idea. Was that the $18 fish, or was that the $36 fish?
That's a good idea.
Fish, or was that the $15?
That's how the bags are numbered.
It's no. I'm talking about how much I want to pay for it. But I know what the number is. It's right on top. But if I don't write it down, if I have 10 fish in my head and I don't write down the prices I'm willing to pay for it, then I can get confused between two fish and I might overpay, or, you know.
Or it might be more than one bag of the fish you were looking at, and the one that's up there might be an additional one that you didn't see.
Could be.
That's a very good idea. Write down the name. Write down the bag number and the price.
And another thing is when you're bidding, and we see this often. This is almost a monthly occurrence. Is if Adam and I are sitting next to each other, and you know we're bidding on the same fish. You know what I mean? But like I see like father and son doing it. The guy's sitting there, his son's got his hand up. He's looking at the auction. This guy's over here, and all of a sudden Billy's like, "Hey, aren't you two guys together?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah." You know? I mean, so they just build themselves up an extra $5 or $6 because they didn't get on the same page with the guy sitting right next to them. So that happens more than you think. You know what I mean? You see people like, "Hey, you guys are bidding. You're the other two guys bidding. You guys came in the same car." So,
and when you bid, and we're really harking on this now more than ever, keep your hands up. When you're at an auction, you can't do like this. Oh, I'm trying to snipe like at the last minute. When you drop your hand down, you're out of it. Like you keep your hand up. Oh, okay, $10, $12, $11, $13. When you get to $13, you don't want to pay it, put your hand down. Once you put your hand down, that person, the last bid goes, because we can't this is not 007. This is not Casino Royale. It's not the bidding wars. If we don't see your hand, the auctioneer is very busy. He's got multiple bags going. He can't look for you way in the corner. You're hiding. If you're not seen, say, "Hey, over here, 13." Or you can talk, 13 over here, or 14. We got to keep those auctions moving. We have hundreds of bags, and we can't look for. People get mad. They're like, "Oh, I was in the bathroom bidding." I was like, "We're not looking at you over there in the bathroom." If you don't have your hands up, You got to make sure you're seen.
You got to make sure too, like, be aware. It's kind of like driving a car. If you're coming up to a street and you see the driver is coming the other way, but he's not looking at you, you got to assume he didn't see you. Same thing as you're bidding. If you got your hand up and Billy's looking over there at someone else's hand, then you got to go, yo, yeah, exactly. Give him the business. Let him know you're interested, And even if it's, you get one of the runners' attention, anybody else, just give me a little, yo, over here, just to let them know you're part of the deal. And then that brings me up, like, there's different types of bidding. And look, we're not bidding on McLarens and Ferraris here. This isn't, some huge high-end car auction. We're dealing with fish typically under $20 here.
You think I'll get more money if I name a coral McLaren? I think I'll name him a McLaren Zoa.
Yeah.
Look
Ferrari red Zoa.
Look out for the McLaren next meeting.
But there's different. Everybody has their different, idea on how to bid, and you get the early bidders that are just like, roll over it, and then you get the snipers that sit there like this, and then when a Billy's like going once, and then and usually those guys get screwed because nobody sees them, and they're like, oh, I had my hand up. It was like, come on, we're playing gangster. Do you want the fish? You not want the fish? And stuff like that. Then there's the guys that go in, and then they're like, oh yeah, I'm out, and then other guys are fighting, and then they come in late again, trying to scare everyone off, like, yeah, I changed my mind. I found my money, So
I found my money.
Yeah, but like you said, just fish here, raise your hand, leave it up until you're done, and then when you're done, put your hand down if you don't want to bid anymore, or leave it up if you want this fish.
We
can just get on to the next fish. You know what I mean?
We're one of the few clubs that takes debit cards. So if you saw that fish and your bid was 50 and you couldn't afford 55, maybe you can raid the piggy bank and tell the runner that brings the bag over to you before he takes the tag off, I'm going to charge it at the end of the night or whatever, where to tell them in advance, because we are one of the few clubs that takes debit cards.
Yeah, and you don't know. It might be one of those fish that you always wanted, or you had as a kid and you want it again, and you haven't seen it in a long time, and here it comes. And you just throw in the kitchen sink at it to try to get it. So that happens. It happens. But last thing, so you bid, now you won your fish. So they were selling these in the back for a while, the insulated bags. I mean, you can use any type of bag, whatever. So I use this. And like I said, I have an extra, these are my emergency bags in case I have issues in the car or whatever. And I got some pens in there, some paper, my notepad. It's all that's
all your supplies. It. Yeah, smart.
All my supplies in the bag. And the most important thing is I wrote my name on it.
I wrote my name on mine too.
Because my last one got stolen from the club.
Oh yeah.
I think he took mine and put his name on it.
No, mine had my name on it from day one. Thank you very much. Besides, I always have junk before fish in my bag. I always got labels and pens and crap in there, which is why I end up with holes in my bag.
My last bag full of junk is at somebody else's. Got my bag full of junk. So anyway, this one has my name on it. Hopefully, it'll deter someone from taking it. It could have been an honest mistake. You could have taken it without knowing.
Yep.
That's right, D. He's pointing at
you. Public enemy number one.
Accusing you, no matter what, it's your fault.
Everything's my fault.
So I know we did good. We went over all the sections. Anybody, we miss anything? Don't stop with that.
We went over bringing stuff and this is just not our club, but most of the clubs. Like we go to the NEC conventions. I go to Aquashella, Reefer Palooza. The Greater City Aquarium Society. Most of us operate the same way. Our clubs are nonprofit. We rely on members, paying membership dues. Bringing things for meetings and buying things at the sales tables. In bringing fish, make sure that you have your fish. I have had instances where people run out the door and they forget the fish on the floor too. I mean, sometimes you got to make sure that you have your stuff together. You know what you're buying. I have had people buy fish they don't know what it is. I think you did mention that. Know the value. Know what you're buying. I mean, a lady last meeting, I think she was gonna buy multiple betas and was like, "Oh, I just bought 4 of these." I'm like, you don't want to put all 4 in one bowl. I mean, so try to know what you're buying. You have Google. We have phones now where you can look up whatever you want to look up and know before you bid on it. Get to the meetings early. If you're bringing fish, get to the meetings, and I don't mean 5:30, but 7:30, so that you have time to look at what's up and write the bags down, like Don meant. Write the bag numbers down, write the name of the fish, so you can look up what kind of fish it is. Sometimes I don't know what kind of fish it is, you know.
True.
But I think we.
I wanted to ask Adam. Adam, like you typically take the subway back and forth, which is, you know, I'm sure there's a handful of people who do the same thing. Any kind of special like things you have to keep in mind, like weight and stuff like back? Is it easier for a backpack than it is for a handbag? Like, do you have anything different that you do than a guy with a car where he just throws it in the passenger seat and goes? Like,
that's a good point. My first few times going to the auction, I won a couple of bids and the bags will pop on the way coming home. So what can you do when you're on the train, you know? But I would normally now take a backpack and then I'll just keep the backpack sitting on my lap. And like that, it works well. You also have the insulated bags that you were showing off, Don. Those, the ones that D has right now. If you ever forget a bag, because there's plenty of times I come with my mindset just to come and help and be supportive, and then all of a sudden, lo and behold, I won a bag of fish that are not meant to bid on that night, and so those bags are available as well. But that's pretty much it.
They tend to go very fast too when we do get those bags. We used to, and I might look into getting them if I could get the president. You know, we got to spend money. The president ain't going to be quick to spend money.
He ain't spending it.
We had these big bags that when Marty was in the club, you could use them for groceries. You could use them for fish.
Oh, wow.
You can keep them. They're very bad. You can see I got a computer. I got everything in this bag. But ask, like if at the beginning of the night, if you plan on buying fish, you can ask at the beginning of the meeting if we have bags. So when you buy a fish at the auction, you can put your stuff right in the bag, put your name on the bag. You know, you'll be prepared. It won't roll around on the floor or anything like that. We're pretty resourceful as a club. We got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, like because my name is in the bag, I just hand the whole bag to Ginny. She knows it's my bag. It's got my name on it. And then when she writes everything down, there's no, you know, she doesn't have to. Whose fish are these? You know, it's pretty simple. Everything's labeled.
I didn't even think about it till just now. Like if you buy a bag, like these are the bags we get from Monster. Shout out to Monster Aquarium. If you plan on charging or like using a debit card, you can write your name in the bag and actually have it at the table. And when you buy something for auction, put all your stuff in that bag. And at the end of the night, we say, okay, 1, 2, 3, this, that. We can tally all your stuff up. And it's easier for the sales table. It's easier for them to keep track of, you know, oh, I had an extra bag here, or where's this? You can do it like that. It's probably easier for everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah. That works. That's a good idea.
But
Mexicali, not to worry. Don't be embarrassed. My name is Adam. A pleasure to meet you, Mexicali. He was asking, he recognizes D and Don, but who's the other gentleman?
He's an inspector. He's a health inspector.
Yeah.
Fish inspection. I want to thank everybody for logging in. We got a few people here that logged in. If you logged in late for the meeting, the stream, we try to do more of these streams for various things. And not just for our club, you know, support all the clubs out there. Of course, we're Brooklyn Aquarium Society guys, but Greater City, the Northeast Council, North Jersey or South Jersey, all of these clubs need support because it takes a lot to run these meetings. I mean, you should see the board meetings where we're all yelling and stuff the week before. Who's doing this? It takes a lot to run these meetings. And a lot of the clubs, people are getting older. You know, it's harder for them to do what they used to do. Shout out to our editor. All of the clubs need help. And if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, subscribe now. Come on, it's free. It's not like we're charging you. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go to the Facebook page. I don't get nothing of it. Believe me, I wish I got something from it. This is not my channel that I'm, you know, my channel is separate. But if we have news, like we had the parking. Oh, actually, before I sign up, I'm going to mention the parking again. Free parking only available between 7 and 8. If you want to park for free in the parking lot of the aquarium, you got to get there before 8 o'clock. If you plan on leaving before 10:30, park on the street. If you get there at 6:30 on the street and just park outside, the meters end at 7 o'clock. So you can get parking if you get there before 7 o'clock because people are at the meters. So parking, we got that straightened out. I'm thankful for the aquarium for supporting us. Once again, Patrick is here. I know he participates. He works at the aquarium. We try to facilitate them. We've been at that education hall for about at least 50 years now. I think since the 70s. So we try to comply and help them in any way that we can. So as far as the stream, support us, subscribe, click like, share the video, and I got no more to say, and that's usually a difficult thing for me. I got a lot to say.
All right, before I go, I want to say a little shout out to my boy Aquafunk, because I ordered this. Here's the only place I can find. It's like when you raise fry and they're like kind of done with brine shrimp and they go from like brine shrimp to like flake. This stuff is like a fine granulated. It's like between flake. Yeah, it's not a super fine powder like for really small. It's like the teenage fish. And he gave me a free sample. I went through the whole thing already. Is
it like the hikari stuff, the fry food?
No, not at all. It's bigger. It's like for teenage fish.
Okay.
Something that's hard to find. You either got to crush flakes or crush stuff to get to like this. This is
hold the bag up. Let me see.
Bigger than a powder.
All right.
But he's got a bunch of food on there. But I just ordered this from him, and like I said, I can't find this stuff anywhere else. And he just happened to send me a sample, and I was like, man, this is filling a niche that I've been trying to fill. And I had that mortar and pestle thing, and I've been crushing all kinds of stuff to get when I'm weaning fish off of brine onto real food. That's filling that gap.
And that's one of the things too. Like Aquafunk, we should welcome him on here. We should do a live stream with something.
I usually reach out to him and let him know we're doing this stuff, and I did. It's my fault. It's Aquafunk.
Sometimes he's got some great stuff, and people just don't know. I didn't know about it.
Yeah, and I usually reach out to him because he helps me like promote stuff like this, and I just didn't, and I don't know why. I should have, but anyway, next time. But we got to come up. If you want to do like another topic, I know it was fun to do those things where we're judging fish like nano fish, or we could do best angel. We did the best saltwater fish or angel. You know what I mean? That was fun. We could do like the best barbs. We can do. There's a million fish we can do. Best Danios, best whatever. If you want to do something like that again, or you want to do like a more serious topic. I wanted to do something for my channel on enrichment, but we can do it here on the live stream. We're going to talk about enrichment.
I have a whole share it in both places.
Whatever. Anyway, that's all I got to say. But I think we can make a habit out of this.
If any of you guys down there have an idea for a topic that you want to hear us talk about, leave it in the comments below.
Or if they want to come on.
If you want to come on, we can have you on there. Another thing I want to get into the saltwater people. There's a lot of saltwater people in New York. There's a lot of saltwater people in New York, because when we go to those shows,
they're on the party about catching porgies.
No, you know what? Where's Sal? Sal's not in here. He says, "Oh, he catching crappie the other day at Prospect." I was like, I haven't been to Prospect Park in like 100 years.
If you guys want saltwater, come to the FDR Drive. I'm going to show you.
FDR Drive. Don't jump in though.
Yeah, I get saltwater.
All right,
Coney Island.
Well, I think we're wrapping it up here. I think we can end on that note. Everybody, I want to thank everybody for participating. The people that are members of the club. See you next month. I got to get another topic. Our boy, Mr. Paranod there, James, going to be talking. We're going to post his comments and what his topic is on the website. If I have the banner, join us at.
Are you going to buy that guy pizza or something?
Who?
James. Is he the discus guy?
Yeah.
Are you going to buy him pizza or take him out for dinner?
We always go out. We always want you to go out.
Last time you screwed the guy, he was crying to me.
Oh, yeah. Good thing you remind. You know what? I'll get there. I told, and we're way off topic. I told Steve we're going to go to the garage earlier so I could take the stuff in the car the day before so we can go get something to eat, instead of running like that.
Let me know if you want to do that. I'll meet you there. I don't know if I can go that early We'll talk about it later.
All right. Second Friday of the month is our meetings, except for July and August. So if that's all we got to say, love, peace, and hair grease, everybody. We'll see you for the next stream. We'll post it when we got it. And we'll be out. Woo! Ends. That would have been
Whoa,
nice.
look at that photo with the sunglasses, D. Look at you.